The phantom phone call. You're sitting in a coffee shop when suddenly you sense it. That subtle buzz, that tremor, that faint hum of an incoming call. You grab your phone, swipe the screen, and nothing. No call, no text, no alert. You double check just to be certain, but it never existed. And yet, you sensed it. Not weakly, not uncertainly, but distinctly. This is the phantom phone call or vibration glitch. If you believe you're the only one, you're mistaken. Research indicates that over 80% of smartphone owners have encountered this at least once. Researchers call it phantom vibration syndrome. They suggest your mind is so conditioned to anticipate notifications, it begins misreading random muscle spasms, fabric movements, or even neural impulses as a buzz. But here's where it becomes unsettling. Some individuals claim hearing their ringtone in completely quiet spaces. Others mention they sense a vibration on the opposite side. Their device is in their right pocket, but they sense it buzz in their left. That transcends a basic sensory error. It seems like reality itself is broadcasting phantom signals, hints that our nervous system and the framework of our perception can sometimes intersect in bizarre, glitchy ways. The neural lag. Now, let's step back to a glitch as ancient as discomfort itself. Imagine this. You inadvertently touch your finger against a scorching stove, but for a brief moment, you only sense the contact of the metal. Then suddenly, the burning sensation arrives. That pause, that strange instant where your body hasn't yet registered what just occurred, is called the neural lag or biomechanical delay. It's like your nervous system is loading. Touch sensations reach the brain quicker than pain sensations because they utilize different nerve pathways. Thicker myelinated ones for touch, slower, thinner ones for pain. Typically, you don't detect the lag, but when you do, it seems like a flaw in your body's hardware. Picture if a collision worked the same way, the noise of the impact hitting your ears before you even sense the force. In uncommon cases, individuals describe this lag being severe, multiple seconds between contact and pain, which only intensifies the disturbing notion that perhaps we're not constructed as flawlessly as we assume. The disappearing object phenomenon. You're certain you placed your wallet on the table. You verified multiple times, but there's nothing. Then afterwards, it's resting exactly where you searched, as if it was inserted into reality later. This is the disappearing object phenomenon, or DOP. Countless online forums share accounts of items vanishing and reappearing in inexplicable ways. One individual insisted her bracelet disappeared for days, only to reappear perfectly centered on her nightstand after she'd searched the apartment repeatedly. Others mention the opposite, possessions appearing from nowhere, like a key in a bag they haven't used in weeks. Doubters attribute it to memory errors. But here's the strangest aspect. Occasionally, multiple witnesses are around when it occurs. Entire groups claiming they examined a location and nothing was present until abruptly it is. At that stage, is it absent-mindedness or a legitimate flaw in the loading of our world? Or perhaps the universe just operates on the same system as our mothers, since they're seemingly the only ones who can truly locate anything. The geographic glitch. Now, picture this. You're taking your regular path to work and you drive past the same familiar structures, the same pharmacy, the same restaurant, the same apartments. Except this morning, a new structure is positioned on that corner, a structure you've never noticed before. Later, you return and it's disappeared. This is referred to as the geographic glitch. Individuals have described entire roads changing, buildings emerging overnight, or monuments disappearing without reason. One individual claimed that his regular gym vanished one afternoon, solid wall where the doors used to be. Then he returned months later and the gym was there, exactly as before, and the staff inside claiming it never relocated. Researchers call it inattentional blindness. We occasionally miss things that were consistently there, but if you've witnessed it, you understand it's not simply not seeing. It's like you entered a slightly altered version of reality where the environment rendered differently. The everyone knew but me glitch. You arrive at the office and unexpectedly everyone is adhering to a new protocol. Or perhaps in class a deadline gets mentioned that apparently everyone was aware of. The hardest part, they all behave like it was constantly that way. No message, no alteration, just your reality misaligned with everyone else's. This glitch is quiet but crushing. It makes you sense like you skipped an invisible software update. Actually, some individuals have described entire workplace rules transforming overnight, like remote Mondays suddenly being a policy that everyone understood except them. It's like the world refreshed overnight and you weren't part of the notification. Doubters say it's just poor communication or that your mind filtered out the instant the information was announced. Others blame group dynamics. Details spread through chatter and somehow you just weren't in the conversation. But the more peculiar theory remains. Maybe reality truly does refresh itself, and occasionally you're the one individual who doesn't receive the update log. The jumping object. Imagine this. You knock a pencil from your table. It drops. Now you anticipate it to be on the ground, but it's not there. You look beneath the desk, beneath the seat, but nothing. Hours afterwards, it appears in another space entirely in a position it couldn't possibly have traveled. That's the jumping object glitch. It's like physics malfunctioned for an instant and the item respawns elsewhere. Families often describe toys doing this, dropping in clear view, only to disappear until they emerge days afterward in another section of the home. Researchers have a theory. Our memory deceives us, and our focus can entirely overlook what's directly before us. A phenomenon called inattentional blindness. It's that same absurd instant when you're gripping something in your palm while hunting the entire apartment for it, or frantically searching for your phone while you're talking on it. Still, when the missing pencil appears in a space it never could have bounced into, even psychology seems like a weak justification, like reality itself just dropped a frame. The prophecy divided by precognition dream. Dreams, however, transport glitches into an even more mysterious realm. Picture dreaming of knocking water onto your keyboard. The scenario is precise. The way the glass tilts and the phrase someone utters right beforehand and days afterward, it occurs exactly moment by moment. That's the precognition dream glitch. Unlike déjà vu, which is merely a sensation of recognition, these dreams are hyper-detailed down to elements you couldn't have predicted, and accounts of this are widespread. Researchers say it's selective recall. You dream so frequently that sometimes one dream aligns with reality, but the individuals who've experienced them argue they weren't unclear coincidences. They were precise predictions, which poses the question, are our dreams occasionally a glimpse forward in time, the scripted NPC conversation? Now picture you're conscious talking to someone when they seem like a dream. Their phrases are strange. Their delivery is lagging, repetitive, or strangely impersonal, like they're executing dialogue options from a video game. This is the scripted NPC conversation glitch. You inquire how they're feeling, and they respond, fine, 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 in a cycle, like a broken recording, or they offer responses so impersonal it seems artificial. Most of us dismiss it as social discomfort, or someone being preoccupied, but the way it registers in the instant is disturbing, as if you discovered someone whose code wasn't completely running. Individuals describe this most frequently with unknowns, clerks, support staff, or even pedestrians on the sidewalk. Instances where the appearance of naturalness fractures and you sense like you're conversing with a background figure in someone else's simulation. The impossible placement. Some glitches aren't about humans at all. They're about impossibility itself. Have you ever discovered an item in a configuration that simply shouldn't be achievable? A coin perfectly balanced on the narrow rim of a cup. A necklace standing vertical on a surface. These are impossible placement glitches. One of the most documented was a spoon found lodged vertical into a wooden floor with no gaps or openings to hold it. It's as if items occasionally generate directly into improbable arrangements just to remind us the principles of physics are not always absolute. The doppelganger glitch. Nothing freezes the blood like the doppelganger glitch. You're in the library and you notice your sibling walking nearby. You shout their name, but they don't acknowledge. They move around a bookshelf and disappear. You contact your sibling later, only to discover they were at home all evening. Or worse, you notice yourself. Accounts of doppelgangers extend back generations, once believed to be warnings of tragedy, but in glitch language. It seems like the system mistakenly rendered the same character design twice. Most of us dismiss it as similar-looking people, but when the similarity is exact, down to attire or movements, the experience is more than disturbing. It seems like you just witnessed reality copying files. The desync, when your internal clock breaks. Finally, there's the glitch that's not about what you observe, but about when you exist. You settle down for a brief break. It seems like 10 minutes, but when you verify the clock, an entire hour has vanished. That's the distorted time phenomenon. It functions in reverse, too. When a few moments extend into what seems like an eternity, time doesn't just accelerate when you're enjoying yourself. Sometimes it malfunctions. But more frightening still is the missing hour. Entire periods of time erase from memory. You're confident you were aware, active, functioning, but the clock disputes it. Accounts of the missing hour often originate from individuals commuting, traveling home, or even working at their computers. It's one thing to mistrack time, but it's another to sense like time erased itself around you. If the brain is a timepiece, then this is a desync, an instant where your personal timeline separated from everyone else's. Each of these glitches is simple to dismiss as chance, mistake, or forgetfulness, but the sheer quantity of accounts from all across the globe, from individuals of all walks of life, suggests something unusual is occurring. Every once in a while, reality seems to stutter, and in those instances, whether it's a phantom buzz, a vanishing hour, or a duplicate of yourself passing by, you get a peek behind the curtain. You witness that even the world we take for granted can astonish us in ways we don't completely comprehend. So, have you ever witnessed any of these glitches? Or maybe you've witnessed something even more unusual. Share your experience in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching.